Hey guys, this is Carrie, and in this video, we're going to be programming with words in Python. So let's get started with our terminal. So for programming on the terminal in Python, before we write any fancy Sublime text codes, we're going to be writing a one line at a time Python code. So we're going to jump into the Python interpreter by pressing Python 3, enter. So this is going to let us run Python one word at a time. So in the past videos, we've been looking at numbers. We've had things like 5, great, 5 is 5. You can take 5 plus 2, do operations with it. That will give you another number, 7. We've looked at some words like age equals 31. And then when we type print age, 31 appears on the screen. So in this video, we're actually talking about a different kind of word. Age is a variable name. And what that means is that this is a code word that whenever we see age, it actually refers to the number we're storing in it, 31. If I want to actually print the word age out, I mean, you might try the same line of code, but it doesn't work because age is actually that code word, that variable name that refers to 31. So what we need to do instead is we need to have a different way of writing age. So what if we printed out age in double quotes? So even though these double quotes look funky, these are, oh gosh, I didn't mean to type that. Even though these double quotes look funky, these double quotes are actually the same double quotes that you have in Microsoft Word. So let's see, if we print age in quotes, instead of treating age as the variable name, it treats age as the word age. Let me do another example. Let's do Dumbledore in quotes. So when we type Dumbledore in quotes, it will think that we're talking about the word Dumbledore. And actually, that's kind of interesting. When I typed Dumbledore in quotes, Dumbledore in single quotes appeared. And so actually, Python doesn't care if you use double quotes or single quotes when you're typing words. The Dumbledore, single quotes. And it gives us the exact same thing. So words in Python that are treated like words they have a name. They're called strings. And the reason why they're called strings is they are a string of characters. Characters are one letter at a time. So it's a string of single letter things all connected. And that word strings is just spelled like a normal string. It's a string of characters. So when we have Dumbledore there, it's a string. All right, so next up, what we're going to do is let's look at some other methods for strings. Oh, actually, before we do this, let's try to combine quotes. So double quotes work, single quotes work, but if we try to combine them, double quotes and then single quotes, Python has an error. It says end of line while scanning string literal. And what that meant is it was expecting to have the double quote at the end before I ended the line by pressing enter. So you can use double quotes for strings, single quotes for strings, but you can't mix the two. All right, so let's look at some other things that strings can do. So let's see how many characters are in Dumbledore. So let's find the length of Dumbledore. The length of Dumbledore is 10, cool. If we did the length of a more familiar word like hello, I'll use single quotes here, it doesn't matter, single or double. We should be getting 5 because the length of hello is 5 characters. That absolutely works. Another thing you might want to do is maybe you want to see, well, we know how to add numbers. Maybe we can add strings. So let's see, if we do hello, the word, and we do plus Dumbledore, the word, maybe we should be greeting Dumbledore. Let's try it. Hello plus Dumbledore. Press enter. And what comes out is very literally those two strings added together. Hello Dumbledore, all one word. And the reason why I did it all as one word is if you take hello and you add Dumbledore directly to the end of it, there's no space there. So a way that you could put the space there is you could do something like hello plus the word, which is just an empty space, plus the word Dumbledore. And now what's going to come out is it's going to be hello glued to a single space, glued to Dumbledore, and we get hello Dumbledore like we might expect. One last one that might be interesting to do is addition seems to work. Maybe subtraction works. Let's try hello minus Dumbledore. And that gives us an error. It says this is an unsupported operand type for minus. Basically, you can't subtract words. There's no meaning to that. Adding words makes sense like this, but subtracting words does not make sense at all. So let's try multiplying. So you can't actually multiply two words. You can't do hello times Dumbledore, but you can do hello times 3. Take a guess for a second before I press enter about what might happen. Hello, hello, hello. all one word. And that's what you get when you do hello times 3. All right, so that's enough with the single one line at a time parts of this. Let's take a look at doing a more complex Python code that we actually write in Sublime Text. So I made up a couple of practice problems for us to do that are going to be similar to your problems in the lesson tomorrow. Let's do these as though we were a student in class. So because I'm writing a more complex program, I'm going to quit out of the Python interpreter in my terminal. I'm going to clear everything that we have, and I'm going to write in Sublime Text the first program here. So let me open up Sublime Text. Let me save this in my desktop folder, carries folder, unit 3. I'll just call this lesson 5. This will be problem 1, so I'll do a problem 1 folder. I'll type problem1.py. All right, so this problem walks us through it. It says create a computer program that stores someone's first and last names in the variables below, I guess it should say. So the same way that we store numbers in variables, we can store strings in variables. So inside of the code word first, we'll put our first name, Albus. Inside of the code word last, we'll put our last name, Dumbledore. So let's see. The first thing that we're supposed to do is we're supposed to print out first name, ... Albus. Well, an easier one for doing this would be, let me just print out whatever is in the code word first. So I'm going to take this code and I'm going to run it so that we, so we can change it and improve it and actually complete the assignment. So to run this code, I'm going to type Python3 space, and I'm going to drag the file over to the terminal so that it executes that whole file using the Python3 program. So we have Python3 space that, press enter, and it looks like what comes out is Albus. Perfect. So when I print first, it looks up what first is Albus. I think as an interesting point of comparison, let me print the word first. So pause for a second. What do you think is going to come out when I run this code? Will it be the word first? Will it be Albus? Will it be Dumbledore? Who knows? So I'm going to run the same program. And when I print out the string first, because it's now seeing first as a string instead of as a code word, the word first comes out. And we have to continue programming. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I have a student here trying to get my attention, but I'm going to ignore them. No, ignoring them. So print first, okay? So let me actually complete the assignment. So it looks like instead of just printing out Albus, I'm supposed to print out first name, space, Albus. So one way I can do that is I can print, and then I want to do first name, space, and then Albus. So if you watch the first half of this video, you should know, in order to combine this word and the word stored in first, I have to put a plus sign here. So I'm going to take this string and I'm going to add the word Albus to the end. But instead of using the word Albus, I'm going to use the code word first to look it up. So save it, and I'm going to run this file. It's the same file, so first name, Albus. What's nice about this is if we were looking at someone else, maybe Carrie Dumbledore, let's say that I had that last name, then I run the same program. By changing Carrie here, it will automatically change Carrie there. All right, I'm going to do something similar. The next thing is I want to print out last name, so I'll print last name, space, plus the thing stored in last. And if I add two strings, add two words, it will just take whatever is in last, and it will smush it, Dumbledore, to the end of the string. So I'll save it. I'll test my code by running it. First name, Carrie, last name, Dumbledore. Let me change it back to Albus, and it will automatically change that. And then it says, oops, did it not work? Let me save it. I have to save my file. Now I rerun it, Albus Dumbledore. Great. Print out their complete name as full name. So print full name, ... space. Then I want to add their first name. Then I want to add their last name. And I think I've made a mistake. Let's see what happens and why. So we run this code, and it gives me first name, Albus, last name, Dumbledore, full name, Albus Dumbledore, all one word. And the reason why it's all one word is we forgot to put a space in between first and last. So I'm going to say take first name, and before you add the last name, add a space there, and then add the last name. So let's save it and rerun it. And so we get first, Albus, space, plus last, Dumbledore. Great. So I'm done with problem number 1 in my sample problem set. It's time for me to do problem 2. This is the last problem. I'm saying this because the student who wants my attention is probably super bored, but uh, let's do problem 2. So problem 2, in this problem we will write a program called Angry Mr. Rogers. To write this program, we'll do the following steps. So I'm going to start off by saving my file as problem 2. So problem2.py. And now it says go to Twitter and copy the most recent tweet from Mr. Rogers' Twitter. All right, so I'm going to go to Twitter. I'll look up Mr. Rogers' Twitter. It looks like he's got this tweet where he says, "Happy National Make a Gift Day, neighbors." It's really nice. You know, Mr. Rogers is probably like one of those people who never said a mean word in his life. I'm sorry, Mr. Rogers, but I don't know. For the sake of comedy, here we go. So I'm supposed to go to Twitter, copy the most recent tweet, and store this variable in the store this tweet in the variable tweet. So tweet equals, and I'm going to paste in his tweet. And something weird happened. It didn't color code that properly. And the reason why it doesn't color code it properly is I forgot to make this whole thing treated as a string of characters. I forgot to make it treated as a word. So I'm going to undo that, and I put my quotes, and now I'm going to paste it in. And now when I paste it in, I'm noticing that this is a little bit annoying that it has this. I'm noticing that it has quotes already in it, and so I'm running into a problem where it has quotes and quotes. Let me see if there's a different tweet of his that is more simple to use. So I'm actually going to take the next tweet because I want to avoid tweets that have quotes. I'm just going to grab this one for now because it'll be an easier sample. So I'm going to take his second tweet and I'm going to paste it in here. And now it's got the whole tweet right there. So let's see why this is Angry Mr. Rogers. So it's Angry Mr. Rogers because it says, use Python to make Mr. Rogers' tweet all caps, like he's shouting angrily. And we're going to store this uppercase version in angry tweet. So I'm going to make a new line of code, a new variable, and it says angry_tweet. And rather than me go through this and be happy Monday, comma, neighbors, and I have to like worry about changing each letter one at a time, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a built-in program or function in Python that makes it all uppercase. So the way this works is you type tweet.uppercase. And this is a little different from any of the functions that we've seen before. If you look at the function print is just a basic function that exists kind of by itself. This one has to do tweet.uppercase. So it has this tweet dot thing. And the reason why it has that is this is a method of this string of characters. And we'll talk a lot more about that as we get into classes, but this is something that is a little bit unusual looking, but should be fine. So let's see, angry tweet equals tweet.uppercase. And then the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to print out my angry tweet. So I'm going to save this, and I'm going to run the code. So I'm going to clear everything I have here. I'm going to do Python 3 space, and I'm going to take problem 2 and drag it over. Let's press enter. So it looks like, oh shoot, string object has no attribute uppercase. Oh, I think it's not uppercase. Let me see. Is it just upper? Okay, cool. It was just upper. So I had the wrong function there, guys. I don't edit in these videos because I don't know how to edit, sorry. But we do tweet.upper and it turns everything to all uppercase. So we've actually completed the assignment. It looks like Mr. Rogers is yelling at his neighbors, "Happy Monday, neighbors! 5 original full episodes of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood." Oh, that's really scary. Okay. Some similar things you might want to do, just for the sake of completion here, is you might not want to do upper. You might want to do, let me just do all of these. Print tweet.upper, print tweet.lower. You can probably guess what that one does. Print tweet.title, print tweet.capitalize, print tweet.swapcase. And all of these things are going to print out very similar things to what tweet.upper did. So let me clear it, and I'm going to get rid of this line of code just so we can see everything that comes out. So Python 3 to run the same file. So it looks like tweet.upper is this first one, all uppercase. Tweet.lower is all lowercase. Tweet.title, it makes all of the first letters uppercase. That might be useful if you're writing a book or something and couldn't guarantee that the book had the correct formatting. Tweet.capitalize, make sure that the first letter is capitalized. The swap case one looks really horrible. It basically switches all the upper and lower cases from the original. Alright guys, I think that is it. Longest video ever. See you tomorrow in class. Bye.